All yours.
Hi, Patrick. I tell you, I've been covering IKEA since the day you opened doors here in India, your first store in Hyderabad. I saw the queue, and I was like, it's madness, man.
Yep, that was beautiful madness, but it was madness, yes. The first day in Hyderabad, I think about 30,000 people came to the store, and the whole parking was full of queuing customers. But all went well, and it has been a beautiful story since.
True that. So since then, you have opening a lot many stores here in India, and you have a long-term story. I want to understand from you, what does it really take to build a billion-dollar brand here in India? In your view, how should brands balance both growth and profitability?
Yeah, starting with, I think you need to figure out what you really want to do. So say your vision, and it's normally not to get an IPO or to make money, but you have to do something purposeful. And in IKEA's case, the vision is about creating a better everyday life for the many people. And when you kind of, this is what I want to do, yeah? I want to do that. And maybe profit will come on the side or maybe not, but hopefully. And this is where you aim for. And then I think second step is to really dig into your customers and the consumers that you're aiming to get. How do you get under the skin? And I think India is a place where you even more than maybe in other markets really need to understand your consumers, because all cities that we have entered have been in different states with different languages, different cultures, different traditions. So that part is crucial. In our case, we do lots of home visits because we're in the business of furnishing people's homes and make every better their lives. And we observe, we ask questions, we study, and that leads to a lot of knowledge and learning that you can take with you when you're creating your offer later on. And the offer, of course, have to match the needs of the consumer. So I think these basic principles of one, really knowing what you want to do and why you do it, understanding your consumer, and then profit and that purpose you have to come hand in hand. Because only chasing a profit will not lead you to the right activities. You need to kind of really build that connection between you and the customer, and then the profit will become a side result almost.
So you say profits will follow when the consumer hearts first.
No, I think it's true. If you have happy customers, you will get profit. And the brand itself is coming from that interaction you have with the customer, how you interact with them. It's not about the slogan you put on your advertising board. It's not the brand. The brand is, of course, really how the consumer feels about you. And that comes from all the interactions you have, from an advertising billboard to an assembly in our case. But I think meeting your consumers, talking to them, touching them, understanding them, listen to them, it's what's going to build your brand also in the future. So connectivity.
So Patrick, when we talk about Indian consumers, they are very price sensitive. They want the global quality products at local prices. How can brands crack this value aspiration paradox without diluting the brand equity? Because you have done that.
So I have to take our case in this. We have a very strong philosophy, which we call democratic design, which is certain elements which each product have to have. And if they don't have these elements, it's not just a product. And if you build those in our case, it should be a functional product. It has to work for the consumer. It has to have a nice design, so it's beautiful. It has to be sustainably made, so that we can be proud of what we have done and don't impact the people and planet. And it has to have affordability and quality. So all those 5 bits and pieces have to be there. And then you can push these levers more or less and create different price points. And I think in India you have many brands are taking out things to make products lower cost. We have chosen not to take out elements. So we're offering the same range in India as we do anywhere else, because we feel that consumers around the world should have the same. Then when we create an offer, it's the solution that is important. It's not the individual product. It's how we put the lamp together with the reading chair, together with the coffee table, together with your maybe coffee cup, but everything has to match together. And that offer you can create in different price levels then, depending on who the consumer is. So for us then, we need to make sure that in the offer we present, everybody has something for them, whether I have a high income, low income, there is something that fits my needs and that I can really connect to and bring with me. So I think for getting the right value, you have to see your customer, know them, but don't drop the quality. I don't think that's the part in India. You have to still find the way to create an offer that is both valuable and at the right price point. And if you have your cool design principles, I think you can get there also.
It's really nice. Global quality, global products for the local consumers as well. So, Patrik, when you're talking about Indian consumers, so they are looking for experience-led shopping experiences, right? So, I mean, you have been doing it, and physical retail plays the best role in that. So, physical retail is not going anywhere, that is for sure. But when we talk about the future, how do you see the mix of online and offline going to change? How it is going to change in the future, and how do you think IKEA looks at it?
So IKEA comes from a background which is pure brick and mortar, big box retailing, and that worked fantastic until 2017, 18 something. It was a very elegant model. We produced a lot, we shipped it on a pallet, put it into a store, the customer came and picked it up, went home, assembled it, everybody was happy. It was a beautiful flow. Then something happened, which is the online attack on brick and mortar retail. And that took us a bit by shock, because we were really disrupted back in 2018. We didn't really know what to do, because we didn't have online capabilities, and the world was just running away. So it took us some time to really understand how we can meet this, and today we are what we call then an omnichannel retailer. So in India today, for example, 30% of our business is online, and the rest then coming from various formats of stores. Because the big stores that we used to live on, today people are not necessarily ready to travel as far as they used to be, and India especially, which is very dense and rather congested, people don't go too far for shopping. So we need to be more close, more in the communities, but maybe supported by bigger store experience outside. So as of today, we are now looking forward. I would say we will still build big stores. We're doing 2 outside Delhi at the moment. But there will be many different formats, from maybe 1,500 square meters up to 15,000. There will be 7,000 and so on. So many different formats, but it's needed to be near the customer. Though online today is 30%, it's likely to rise, I believe, because the convenience of online shopping is, of course, very high. Then the experience on online shopping is much lower. So to build a brand, I think over time, you somehow, at least in our case, we need to touch the consumer's heart. And we don't, at the moment, really do that online. Then it's more a transaction. So for us to try to bring consumers at least once in a while to an IKEA store, where they get a bigger experience, where they meet our coworkers, they can do things. I think this is so crucial, to not run for the easy money, but still think of how do I build my brand over time. And in our case, it is still with a physical experience, because that's when you build that love that you cannot really get from an online transaction.
But Patrik, I've seen what IKEA is doing these days. When you enter any new city in India, you open online first and then open offline stores. Why do you think this is the right strategy?
It's again, it's maybe the easy way. You start testing the market, seeing how the reaction is. But within maybe a year of online sales, you learn a lot. You see what products are moving, you start interacting with consumers. So it helps us to create the right offer when we go on a physical store later on. So it's a bit of a learning mix. So testing and trying, seeing is this market catching up, and how do we then address it with our physical stores.
Nice. So, Patrik, one more thing. When we talk about certain brands which enter India, and in order to win the hearts of the consumers, they localize too much that they lose their own essence, right? I want to understand from your perspective, how much localization is needed actually, and what do you think is the right way that global brands can scale without losing their original identity?
I think global brands act very differently. I mean, from an Apple to some maybe some brands that really do Indian-related products. So it's difficult to say. In our case, we've taken it from that we have to be relevant to the Indian consumer. So what does that mean then, to be relevant? So it comes back to the learnings about the home visits and studying people, what they actually do. And then we have, luckily, then 7,000 different products that we can put together in different ways. And those ways we put them together has to be relevant for the market. So it can be the same product, but put together in a different way. And here, I think, for us, that's how we really localize it. Then, of course, we have products that are only for India. We have a few tawas, we have things around the kitchen, we have patterned bed sheets. We do many things that are only for India, but I don't think that's the big thing. The big thing is really to put the other 7,000 products together in a way so that you are relevant. Then local sourcing is, of course, important because you can, in most cases, drive prices down. You get shorter distribution chains, you get factories that are near where you produce, where you sell. However, quality is again a challenge sometimes. We have many, many good Indian suppliers. We worked in India for almost 45 years now and export a lot. But still, when you come into, in our case, furniture production, it's a challenge. So we need to work very closely with our suppliers to get to the quality and the price point we need. So local sourcing can be the solution, but not always. It depends on your product.
So one question out of curiosity, Patrik, when you say you have been here from 45 years exporting, so globally, when you send products from India, which is the most liked product globally?
The most liked Indian product globally. We're selling a lot of textiles, maybe obviously, and that's a very, very loved product because it makes a home soft, nice, and friendly. So I think probably India is most known for that part, but it's also maybe the warmest part of a person's home. It's the textiles. It's what you put closest to your body, and so I think India, in that sense, is pressing the right buttons for the world to love the products that come from here.
So Patrik touched upon the supply chain part, right? Supply chain excellence, I mean, if we back it with the strong tech and everything, and become strong towards the back end, make the brand strong in the backward integration part of it. So I want to understand what is the next $1 million brand want? I mean, marketing and investment or backend should be strong in the form of supply chain, logistics, and everything?
The range, the product that you sell have to be right. This is for sure. So I think that goes back to the product has to be correct. If you say the back end as the IT infrastructure that a company operates on, I think it's a must today to be on an advanced IT infrastructure because that will enable your AI solutions and so on going forward. But it's not going to differentiate you from the markets. I think still it's the classical three will be there. It's the product, it's your marketing, and it's your people that will differentiate you. The rest is things that you have to do to be there at all. But if you don't have the right product, the right coworkers, and the right marketing, you will still challenge. So those are the differentiators. I think, we cannot go wrong with those three.
Okay, my last question to you. India is a 5 trillion economy on the horizon. 10 years from now, what will India demand from its biggest brands that it doesn't demand today?
I would think trust will be even more important. Probably already today it is important, but to be a brand that you trust is doing the right thing for you in terms of not making products that are harmful for you personally in terms of chemicals, in terms of what your product is made of. Also to know that it's not harming the planet, so that you feel that what you are consuming is not pushing on the environmental changes we see. And then the whole, call it, when something goes wrong, has to be top. Today, maybe we can get away with not having the best way of maybe returning things and so on. It's not optimal, but in 10 years from today, that has to be spotless because the trust that it builds in your brand, that if I buy something from you, I can easily have the right product for me if I want to change it. So I would say trust, but in quite a few dimensions. So if I would, there's a trust in not harming yourself, the right product quality in that sense, not damaging the nature and the people, and as well as being very, very safe for you to buy so you don't feel worried about the transaction.
Patrik, I'm sure, I promise last question now. So there are lots of consumers from various parts of India right now over here. So I want to understand when do they all can expect products from IKEA to be delivered or stores to be nearby? How do you see your stores across all India? When do you see it happening?
So we have, India's been an interesting story for us. We started with a bang, I would say. It went like, okay, now we start. The whole company was excited, India was excited. Then it was a little bit of it went very well, and then it kind of stabilized. And then COVID came, and we got stuck in some construction projects. And there was a bit of doubt in IKEA, how will India be for us? But now we have once and for all, again, so to speak, decided that obviously India is the future. I mean, where else? With the demographics, the economical development, everybody moves to the cities, the urbanization, so many needs, yeah, very young population. So the coming 50 years is obviously a dream for IKEA to be here. So now all IKEA companies together have agreed India is the place to be. So now we are trying to open another 30 touch points the coming years. So it's all in, and we're opening the next one in 3 weeks, not so far away from here, up in Pune. And then next summer we have 2 more, one in Delhi and one in Bangalore. So more to come, and then every year there should be 5, 6. So it's a very, very exciting journey, and add to that the digital side of it. So we will be closer to more of the many people in India very soon.
Best key takeaway for me today is India is the future. Thank you so much, Patrik, for joining us today.
Thank you.